I think the first thing is do not apologize for what the Bible does not. If the Bible doesn't apologize for speaking about money, then we shouldn't either. And I think that we need to be bold and authoritative in that. Jesus speaks about money a lot. The Bible speaks about money a lot. And I think with the same authority we speak about faith and hope and love, we should speak about finances as well. And so I think that's the first thing. And I think if we get that right, then we're fine. I think that we need to be bold and sure on what God is bold and sure on. And then be faithful. Be faithful to the text. Just because someone else has preached it badly doesn't mean that you have to. And just because we were, especially over here, so in England, where I am, a lot of sermons on money are quite soft to the point that there's just no sense from the preacher that I need to give or tithe, whatever it is that you believe on that. And that's why we see a lot of churches struggling financially, I think, in these issues. So I think be as strong as the word is, and do not preach things badly just because others have, either because they are too soft or just because they're false in what they say. And be honest with people, be honest with your own struggles in this area, if you do have them, and be honest with people about God's faithfulness. If he promises to provide, if he promises to abundantly provide for every need, if he promises that you will reap what you sow, you don't need to over explain that to the point that it doesn't make any sense anymore. and it doesn't like help us anymore. Like, just be faithful to what it says. And if people find that hard, well then fine. Like, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was you said a phrase that you almost repeated just there, but I think you said, like, just because some people are preach badly about, they preach about money badly, but we need to understand that to be biblical. Something about, actually you said it much better.
So
like, bad preaching exists, so therefore biblical preaching must exist, or something like that.
Like, that's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So if people do something badly, don't react badly. React biblically.
That's it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. We got there. I'm glad you remembered it from 2 weeks ago. Yeah. But I just thought it was, really, really, it was, I'm sure, good for that congregation, stirring to me. And I would, again, I recommend it as almost like nearly a masterclass in talking about money. And then also with, like, honesty about your own church's situation financially. And it was just, really good. And just because someone on TV is doing it badly, that doesn't mean that we need to just, like, caveat it to death, or, you kind of cap in hand. I'm so sorry, folks, I have to talk about money today. Oh, please forgive me, But you're just like, this is something in God's word, and this is something in our lives. Let's see how they overlap. And I got news for you. And then you communicated it.
That's right, Mike. That's absolutely right. And we wouldn't do it with anything else, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to time and serving and money and finances, things which actually affect people there and then, we seem to be quite anxious and scared at times, which is just insane.
Yeah.
Just preach.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that. Yeah. Well, I preached about money last Sunday. So that made me think, kind of like, as I was listening to you, today is Tuesday. I'm like, I wish I listened to this earlier. This would have put some fire in my bones before I did. And, I think I preached pretty good, on money. But this is like after about a dozen probably awkward sermons on money that I've preached over the years. So in the past couple of years, I think as I've gotten older, just like I care a lot less, I've learned,
right.
Listen, I've lost a lot of friends already, and people can think the worst about me no matter how hard I try. And so I'm just like, let's just go for it. And so a couple of years ago, the way I preached about sex and the way I preached about money has gotten a lot less apologetic or caveated or nuanced. And of course, there are nuances to some of these things, but I've learned, like, I'm never going to make certain people happy. And so let's just, But I'm actually really surprised that was your first time doing it. Because I got a lot of bad ones under my belt before I think I finally found my stride and able to talk about this confidently.
Yeah.
What do you say besides yes, thank you, Mike. Yes, I am.
Thank you, Mike.
You're right.
I'm just so assured in myself, you know. No, I think that I've come to a point where I need to preach in a way where no one's happy. You know, in some sense, right? In some sense. I think it was Martin Lloyd Jones who was speaking about antinomianism and legalism, and that a good preacher should be accused of both of those things. And when it comes to money, prosperity, and the opposite end of that, whatever that would be called, I think we should be willing and ready to be accused of both of those things, because I think that God's teaching on money is far and exceedingly greater than we could even imagine, and as evangelicals would often accept. But it's also far and exceedingly less self-centered than many have preached it and taught it.